Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're really pulling apart something valuable.
Yes, we're looking at a kind of blueprint for business success.
It's drawn from those insights and, the case studies you shared with us.
Exactly. And our mission, using your material, is to really get straight to the point.
What are those core nuggets of knowledge?
Yeah, what actually drives growth?
Yeah.
How do the entrepreneurs who, really succeed operate day to day, trying to cut through the noise?
We're looking for those maybe surprising truths and actionable insights. Okay, so let's unpack this.
Right.
Digging into the material, the first thing that just jumps out is the sheer power of focus.
Yeah, and this isn't just keeping busy. Your material makes it really clear.
Right.
Successful people, successful businesses, they're almost ruthless about prioritizing the high-impact stuff.
And just as important,
It's cutting out everything else. It's about being effective, not just, efficient.
there's that quote in there that really sticks, doesn't it? The worst use of time is doing something that need not be done at all.
Simple, but wow, so hard to actually do in practice.
It is.
But, look at Amazon. The materials from market insights
Which let them refine their model quickly.
and disrupt a massive established industry much faster than anyone really expected. What's really fascinating when you look across all the material you provided is how these principles, they aren't separate silos.
They weave together.
They really do. Focus isn't just willpower, it's enabled by prioritizing consequences. Practicality isn't just chaos. It gets material highlights Jeff Bezos' initial, almost obsessive focus.
On customer experience.
Exactly. Customer experience and building that long-term scalable infrastructure. It wasn't the only thing, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
But that intense prioritization, that was absolutely foundational. Identifying the one or two things that truly move the needle.
And giving them everything. So, okay, that level of focus, you'd think it requires this incredibly detailed plan, right?
You would think.
But then the material throws a bit of a curveball.
Yeah.
It points out this tension between, academic theory and actual practical entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. It really pushes back on needing that perfect formal business plan before you start.
Yeah.
In fact, it gives that striking number 49 out of 50 successful businesses looked at. They started without one.
Wow, 49 out of 50.
The emphasis shifts, you see. It's less on perfect planning up front, more on just starting, taking action.
And being adaptable.
And being adaptable, exactly.
That stat alone is pretty surprising. It reframed things. Makes me think of Sarah Blakely, with Spanx.
Good example.
As the sources describe it, she built that empire largely without formal business training.
Right. She relied on practical insights, learning as she went, figuring things out.
Her adaptability was the strategy, in a way.
Which leads nicely into the next idea.
Yeah.
Accelerating that learning curve.
Okay.
The journey's tough, no doubt. But the material stresses, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
You can leverage proven strategies, learn from others.
Precisely. It speeds things up significantly.
Tesla comes to mind, as covered in the material. That path was, anything but smooth.
Definitely not.
But that strategic learning, adapting the perseverance through all those difficulties.
Often by borrowing lessons from other industries, other technologies.
Right, that allowed them to accelerate the whole EV adoption curve dramatically.
And this idea of learning and focus, it connects really deeply with another actionable strategy in the material, prioritizing consequences. It's a framework, really.
Okay, explain that a bit. Assessing tasks based on
Their potential long-term impact, not just how urgent they feel right now.
okay. So instead of just, clearing the inbox.
You're asking, is this task really going to advance my core goals, or is it just noise?
High-stakes decisions get your full attention.
And the low-impact distractions. You have to be ruthless, eliminate them, delegate them.
Got it. Makes me think of Steve Jobs going back to Apple.
Yes. The sources talk about his transformation. It wasn't just product design.
It was strategic focus.
He intensely prioritized those few products that truly define the user experience.
And famously cut loads of other product lines.
That's prioritizing consequences writ large, taking bold action based on future impact.
And that loops back again, doesn't it, to accelerating growth by learning from others.
Yes, exactly. The material highlights seeking mentorship, using existing expertise, really understanding the industry dynamics.
It helps avoid common mistakes, navigate complexity.
It's like accelerated practical learning. You get there faster.
Airbnb feels like a key case study here in the material.
Definitely. They didn't just have a good idea. They got huge benefits from strategic guidance, accelerated by strategic learning, by leveraging others.
So success isn't just the idea.
No, it's this integrated system. Relentless execution, sharp focus, and that constant adaptability based on what's actually happening in the real world.
Okay, so if we boil down the core takeaways from your sources, it's intense focus on high-impact work.
Embracing a practical, action-first approach over rigid plans.
Strategically accelerating learning using proven methods, outside insights.
And constantly prioritizing based on long-term consequences.
Yeah.
The material really leaves you with this fundamental question, doesn't it? It's like a filter for everything else.
What's that?
Something to ask yourself daily. Is what I'm doing right now, today, truly one of the most important things I could be doing?
That's powerful. And it raises an important question for you listening. Looking at these insights from the material you shared with us, how might you apply these principles?
That idea of sharp focus, practical action, prioritizing impact.
How does that apply to your own efforts, whether they're big company strategies or, just personal projects? Something for you to mull over.